Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to share a few thoughts on this, like the culture change. It's some different topic than the supply chain, but definitely it is impacting to everyone in kind of, creating this kind of a culture. When we talk about the organization innovations, it's like the culture change is something everybody face a challenge. Because whenever we talk about the culture change, it impacts to the people. And when we talk about impacting, it like below line, the people needs to adopt that. Without adoption, any kind of innovations or the implementations will not be successful. Topic might be look like more philosophical. I am not a philosopher, but yes, I am the IT professional and try to brief you based on my previous experience about my entire journey. What are the kind of the implementation challenge I face? What are the best practices we have implemented as an innovative practice? And then try to create the good culture, collaborative culture, and try to bring those culture changes. So when we talk about the innovation, it always doesn't mean like innovation is creating something new things. It's yes, innovation or innovative practice, innovative digital transformation is something coming out from new ideas. But yes, innovation as it can be existing improvement or the enhancement as well. So something like in today's competitive world, everybody will agree, like innovation must be the organizations to stay ahead of the competition. So it's must, mandatory. But when we talk about the supply chain process, it's multiple stakeholders involved, including our own employees, partners, multiple skill sets, different skill sets, and the different kind of solutions we need to implement. As there are quite good number of automations we do build in this kind of a journey, but implementing those, the execution team should be aligned with those cultures. So how we will bring it? So what are the skill set we need to have it? First of all, to have this process or to bring the innovative practice or to have those cultures, we should have a dedicated and the focused team members on the projects. So whenever any kind of the automations or any kind of the digitalizations, transformations, so without a people it is not going to have, and dedicated team needs to be assigned for this process. So innovation basically start from the top. The leaders needs to show the commitment and actively support. Definitely it happens, but the open communications with the people or open communications with the team, it's a mandatory to have, it's important to have. Assign a dedicated resources, allocate dedicated tasks to them, encourage the employee to take the risks and the experiment with the new ideas. Any kind of the innovations need experiments, and asked employee to take the risk. We need to create a culture to explore with the new things, with encourage them to the calculate risks. People generally fear to take the risks because of the past experience or maybe the fear of failures. Definitely, I don't call every experience is not the failure, but it's a learning. It always gives a learning to us. And take those learnings and move ahead, which is always I mention to my team to take those learnings and start the new projects. The focused on this learnings and development, the promoting the culture to the continuous learning, invest some digital literacy. As on date, the people are habitual of their current existing process. Any kind of a new process, bringing into this, it will create them a problem that digital literacy needs to be embarked with them. How we will create? We need to continuously keep them through the learning process. Support the employees to expand their knowledge, expand their skill set through the training programs. Give them the workshops, training sessions. Innovation projects requires a dedicated team and their time, hence those dedicated resources needs to be deployed. Again, depends upon the type of innovations which we are talking about. Organization is a culture driven. So decision needs to be taken based on the volume or the duration of the projects. Okay, how we want to drive this, where we want to take it, how the learnings needs to be taken. Establish the culture of the reward and recognition. At this moment, whenever we want to align the people on the any specific projects or any kind of a specific task or the automations when we are talking about, so definitely their recognitions and the reward mechanisms do work with them. Define the strategy is basically more important. How far we have a good plans for the automations, how the good product or solution it is, but unless and until we have a good strategy for this, it is very hard to implement it. So break down the silo culture. At this moment, whenever any kind of the automation project, whether it's a supply chain kind of a project or any kind of the other projects, if at all it's getting a silos only limited to those department, it is very hard to implement it. So the cross-functional team has to be get involved in this multiple projects, because the cross-functional team, it will bring the different ideas. So those silos will break down cross-functionally, because each functions, everybody will agree, it interdependence on some or other department as well. So all those ideas, all those skill sets needs to be put on the table, then only the things will start working and the culture will start changing. The acceptance and the adoption of the digital transformations, it needs a clear and open communication, because this plays a very vital role. Emphasize them how the digital transformation will help them and organization to grow. Basically, when the people will see if they are growing, the organization simultaneously grow. So we need to explain them and emphasize them how it is dependent on their growth as well. Start small, doesn't matter how the big automation projects are there. The early failure is always good to have, we can change the strategy, or the early recognition or early success to boost their confidence. It is more important. Those kind of a start process, that's what in case of the, when we talk about the IT, we have the scrums, we have, milestones to be get set. So based on the projects, the big projects needs to be divided into those kind of a milestones, and then those kind of a small winnings will help to boost the confidence of the people. Then only the entire automation piece will able to get worked. If we able to get that, the feedback will take at the end, then the things might be will not work, and might be we will lose the time for the entire project. The project, the showcase, the quick wins, is a tangible result, needs to be shown to the people to win their confidence. Keep them engaging and boost their confidence, which is more important. So when we talk about integration platforms, learnings, I keep emphasizing like it needs to have the workshops, needs to have the integrated platforms with them for the learnings. To improve their skill sets, it's required to have give them some integrated platform which they can focus on their skill sets, like the technical skills, product skills, soft skills, any kind. It depends upon person to person. It depends upon the organization style, or maybe that role which they are doing it. So based on that, that skill set needs to be developed. Then only they will able to help up any kind of the innovations. So this kind of best practices or innovative practices, every organizations, this is from the previous my experience, it works. So definitely, rather than asking a people, to change their self, you ask them to learn the new things. It helps them to understand what the organization needs to do. Select the suitable learning management tool, the LMS. In our organization, we are going to launch with that the same LMS portal, which will help the areas of the improvement. We are trying to find out the audience like the respective areas, who is actually really needs those skill sets to work on that. Any kind of automations might, the skill set needs to be improved, but how they will have the current skill set, whatever they are having, it might be, it will not be useful. So that targeted audience or that areas of improvements needs to be identified. It is depends on the person to person, varies from that. Based on the creative content, it should be not the lengthy processes, all the contents. At this moment, when we talk about more to ask them to read about the white papers, it will not happen, because when we talk about any kind of a department, if I talk about a supply chain, there are skilled, semi-skilled or unskilled people who is actually involved in this part. Might be kind of a small videos on those topics, or kind of, small kind of awareness campaigns needs to be run with them. So it will definitely help them to boost it. So how we will do those kind of things, even the gamifications for certain areas, it will help them to learn those topics which they feels boring at that time. So continuously take the feedback, like how the things are moving. When we launch the LMS portal, like needs to be rechecked with them, like whether it's a working, not working, and based on that, the strategy needs to be changed and implementation. Sometimes even the mentorship, it will help them how the things is not working. They can needs to be associate them with some assistance for the clarification of a thoughts. Then try to take their feedback so the things will get work. So remember, the building integration platform for the learning is an ongoing process. It will not happen in one go. So after the feedback and the sessions, we need to take care about it. So in case of all this innovation process, when we talk about people resist, why people resist? Why people don't want to change? Is basically it's a common phenomena. Why the people don't want to change? People generally don't want to change because they don't want to come from their comfort zone. Everybody is aware. So because they are habitual of certain habits, hence the adoption of a culture change with the organizations become a crucial. So when we talk about them, so we need to find out their comfort zone, their daily routines, how they are comfortable, because when talk about a change, it comes with certain uncertainty and comes with certain risks. People may feel to tend uncomfortable with certain things. Might be it's a consequence causes of it. Maybe it's like job securities. Because of that, they don't want to have the participate to the kind of the automations. It can create the risks as well. Alter the roles and responsibility as well. Never know. It depends upon their thoughts. It depends upon, what at this current moment they are into, in which roles they are into. The people has their routine habits, and for stability of those concerned, the culture change is a disturb them for their routines, and for which that discomfort needs to be taken out, which will help them in case of mentoring, learning, participating them into the ongoing activities. It is more important to be let them participate in those kind of the culture change. Let them put their inputs. Insufficient communication and clarity about the reason behind the culture change can lead the resistance. So we need to break that. Then those kind of refusions we will not able to make. Even their previous unsuccessful experience leads to be resistance, which we need to understand. That learnings needs to be given. Basically the leaders needs to train them how to deal with those kind of resistance and how to deal with those kind of changes. So how to build those skills? When we talk about building those skills, there are a different aspect for building those kind of a culture, or kind of a different type of innovative practice needs to be taken. So continuously involve them in case of those kind of a process, involve in kind of a new opportunity, be interactive with them. So by this changing of the world or the changing of the environment, how it is going to be get benefit, how is the innovative environments are available, what are the opportunities the market are available, how the things are changing needs to be input to them. Actively involve the participants into this so that we will able to get some new ideas and suggestions, encourage them for the new culture, which is more important. So if employee feels they are getting heard, they are getting valued, then they are more likely to adopt what we are trying to do. So whichever we are trying to achieve in case of any kind of the automations, any kind of the projects, any kind of the culture change, any kind of the activity, first their adoption is mandatory and we should heard and clear specify their thoughts as well. So identify and address their concerns and the fears. Sometimes coaching and mentoring help them. By this, overall, till now, by having the different kind of the implementation experience, what I feel is like the process is ongoing. It will never get stopped. So empower the mindset of the continuous improvements and the innovations. No matter how well we plan the set strategies and the innovations and the culture change, it needs the alignment at the execution team. It makes it successful. Creating an innovative organization culture takes a time and efforts. It requires a collective commitment from both, from leaders as well as the execution team. So employees throughout the organizations needs to be aligned. That is the leader's responsibility or our responsibility. In this entire process, be patient, flexible. Not everyone will adopt at the same place. So understand the employee who may need more time to adjust, be open to take the feedback and adopt the change strategy to need based on the employee inside experience. Thank you very much. Thank you. Be patient for your time.
Thank you so much. Full session, requesting everyone to give a big round of applause to Ms. Sayali. For felicitation, I would like to call upon stage Mr. Ruchir Srivastava to come on the stage and felicitate.